Hey y'all, today we're going to make a Boston butt roast. And before I get started, I'm going to tell you a little story. Allegedly, I burned the cord up on my Crockpot, but there were no witnesses, so I'm not going to admit anything. But y'all know how I am. I burn stuff up and melt stuff and all that, and that's just, you know, the way it is. But actually what happened is I had put the roast in the crock pot, and I was setting it back at the back of the stove and plugging it in, or plugged it in, and it hadn't been plugged in but a few minutes, and I was working on the bar cleaning it up, and I looked at my husband and I said, "Do you smell smoke?" And he said yes, and we turned around and looked at the stove, and about that time the cord to the crock pot caught on fire. And so we came over to it and was trying to get the fire out and looking and all, and so somehow I guess I hit the knob that turns on the burner, because I had no reason for it to be on otherwise, and so it burned that cord up, and that's all the damage there was, and that's okay. In my smoker that y'all saw when I did a demonstration of it, it is a slow cooker also. So I'm just going to do it in it. I'm not smoking it. I'm just using it as the crock pot. So everything has worked out and everything's fine. Now I'm going to bring it down and show you my Boston butt. At Food Line, they were 99 cents a pound. And Caleb said, since they're such a good price, we ought to buy several, so we bought 3, which that is a real good price. So what I'm going to do is to show you, it's real simple what I'm going to do, and then I'm going to let it cook all night on high, because this is a big roast. The first thing I'm going to do is take some liquid smoke, and I'm only going to put like a drop over here and a drop over there, and that's all you need of that. And then I'm gonna take this Bullseye Everyday Original. Usually I use what is it that I use? I can't think of the name right now, but y'all know what I use. Sweet Baby Ray's, and I have no idea why I have this instead of Sweet Baby Ray's, but I think it's going to be fine. And I'm going to put just, you know, a little around the edges, not on top but around the edges. I've used probably 2 right about there, not a whole lot. And I've tried to put this around the side, not on the roast. So the next thing I'm going to do is take Diet Coke. You can use regular Coke, Dr. Pepper, root beer. Any drink like that should be good. And I'm going to pour it over the roast. And because this is a big one, and I want most of it to, or I want all of it to be covered as best as it can, I'm going to put 2 of these in. And now I'm going to put just a little bit of seasoning on top, and I'm going to use this garlic and herb that I got recently from Dollar Tree. A lot of people have said that this is a good spice. So I'm gonna try it. Just sprinkle it on. Generously, and you want to have the fat side down and the meaty side up. Then we're just going to put some salt and pepper. So there's the pepper, and here is the salt. I'm going to plug it in and let it go all night. It's about 7 o'clock now. And like I said, I'll plug it in, let it go all night. If I happen to wake up during the night, which I do a lot of times, if it's past, say, 4 o'clock, I'll go ahead and turn it down to low. But this is a big roast, and I want to have it where it's available to eat on all day. So anyway, tomorrow when it's ready, I'll come back and I'll show you what it looks like, and we'll have a taste. The Boston butt has finished cooking, and it is very, very tender and tastes really good. And usually I would show you it in the crock pot where it finished, but I decided that I'm gonna do something a little different, so I'm gonna show you this a little bit different. But here it is. I just went ahead and put it in this pot when it finished. I don't know if you can see it real well or not, but it's fall apart tender, as you can see. And anyway, so now let me get to the part that's different. I took off the fat off of the top of the juice, and I got probably a cup of the juice in here, and there's some of the meat and all that. And I'm gonna make a barbecue sauce that I thought about just going ahead and dumping it in to the meat and shredding it, but then I thought, well, some people may not like it, so they can put it on there if they do like it. But here's what I'm gonna do. Like I said, there's about a cup of the broth. I'm going to take this bullseye, you know, I put from about right here bullseye while it cooked, but I'm going to take the rest of this bottle, and I think it's 17 ounces, but I'm going to add this to that broth, and then what little bit's left, I'll just turn it up and let it drain, in case somebody would like to have that little bit on their meat. Then I'm going to take just a little bit of this garlic oil. It tastes so good. And put just a little bit in there to help flavor the barbecue sauce. Then let me grab my cup. I've been trying to do better, but I forgot today. Okay. As I've told y'all, I'm having some equilibrium problems, so it's hard for me to get back and forth. I was trying to see. For some reason, it is so dark in here to me. I feel like maybe y'all can't even see what I'm doing. But anyway, I have a cup measuring cup, and I know it looks big, but it is the cup. And I'm gonna put a cup of brown sugar into the barbecue sauce, firmly packed. And then I'm going to take the apple cider vinegar, and I'm going to put 3/4 of a cup of it in there. And that is going to be the barbecue sauce. And what I'm going to do is, let me bring it up. I'm going to start this and get it to a very low boil and just let it simmer and simmer and thicken and reduce. And when I think that it's the right flavor and texture and thickness and all that, then it will be ready. And I have quite a bit of the broth left in the crock pot, so I'm going to put some pintos in that along with some of the meat. I'll put the meat in later, probably not too long before the beans have finished cooking. And we'll have some pintos in that good broth along with the meat. And so that is my plans. And when everything gets made, I'll come back and you can see it all, and I'll let you know how it tastes. We're back, and the pork butt has finished cooking. And before I show that, I will say that the pintos that I put in the broth from the pork butt have not finished cooking. So I'm just gonna have those tomorrow for supper or lunch. But I took a couple real big pieces of this pork butt and put in the beans, and that will make a really good meal. But you know what beans look like, so I didn't bother trying to bring them over here to show you. They're sitting over on the bar cooking. So here is the pork butt. And I'm going to bring it up so hopefully you can see a little better. And I made this barbecue sauce, and I let it simmer real low for probably an hour and a half, and it's thickened up nicely. I think it tastes good. I put a little bit on the bottom of the pork butt and on the top once I stuck it in the oven. I just did that to keep it warm. So this is here if anybody wants to put some on their food. And so this here is Mexican corn, and I will have a video out if I haven't already on how to do it. And this is our supper tonight. So I hope that you enjoyed watching. I really appreciate it. Take care, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.